Right, thank you. Welcome everyone. I'm here today to talk to you about the next Gen PMS. And I've cheated already, sorry, organizers. I've called it the hospitality system of the future. So, because in our imagination and in our future thinking, a PMS has to be better than it is today, and it has to be more than it is today. So my name is Josef Lapka. I've been over 10 years in hospitality. I started in engineering. I've done product, IT director, VP of operations, and ultimately product director. And I had a career-defining BA honours in drama. So this is why I feel quite comfortable up here, for now. So today I want to talk to you about three pieces. Common themes that we know about the future of PMSs or hospitality systems. 4 key considerations that we regard as important today, and ultimately our vision of the future, which takes you completely away from the PMS, actually. It'd be really interesting, hopefully. But to set the scene, I think you need to understand where Mews sits in its cooperative landscape. So basically, we regard ourselves not as a PMS. We are sitting in the middle of the offering to the hotel or hospitality tech B2B, towards the payment side, and also to the B2C travel. And those are the key areas that we are actually serving today in certain areas. And this is where we are anchored into and where we want to move forward from. So the common themes we hear when we talk about the next generation hospitality systems, and I hope this was quite a risky slide because I hope you kind of have the same thoughts, but we hear cloud native, mobile first, data access, alternative spaces, 99% uptime. Actually, my CTO would kill me. It's 99.9% uptime. And that's not just from a technology point of view, but also from an operational point of view. You know, we don't take the system down, for example, for night audits. It just works. Room management systems, RevPAR to RevPAG. I think that's the right way to say that. So it's per available guest. So actually, we are looking at the guest and his or her value in order to give you an overview of how you should look at revenue and to maximize your real estate. 100% redundancy, frictionless ecosystem is key. I've been in hospitality, as I said, for many, many years, and there's so much friction having to connect things, you know, and this is one of the reasons I joined Mews 2 years ago, because that friction is actually tackled. Effective distributions, cross-department collaboration, mobile keys, customer lifetime value, again, hotel-to-guest communication, ideal customer profiles that leads to loyalty programs, security and compliance, of course, along with GDPR, Internet of Things that we've heard from our colleagues today, and digital payments. And there's many, many more. And I hope a lot of this resonates with you about what you're trying to get out of your centralized system at the hotel. But ultimately, with Mews, we are actually considering all of that very important, but with one really, really key thing in mind, and it's to create a remarkable guest experience. Because we want to deliver the best product that your staff can use in order to be engaging, welcoming, and really have time for their guests, rather than staring at a screen and not being able to do that. So, the key considerations for today, really before I go into the next gen hospitality system, is what I want to focus on is cloud native, enterprise ecosystem, custom integrations, and actually rethinking data, because getting data out of your systems is sometimes very, very difficult. So, why cloud native? So Mews has been built from the very, very beginning in the cloud. It scales sometimes at a click of a button, sometimes automatically. So you can run your property management system just like any software as a service. We have Azure infrastructure, as I mentioned, extends automatically or just with a press of a button. We open possibilities with mainstream cloud products like MS365 because there is no issue with regards to blocking the access into the property. And on-premise, we believe, is unfortunately never secure. You know, you have on-premise systems that may not be handled correctly. There's a lot of dependencies on it. And we would always recommend to offload that responsibility to someone that has got experts in that area. Enterprise ecosystem, and this is why we're here today, and thank you for Nonius for organizing this event. And for us, integration partners are key. So we understand that hotels and brands shift away from one throat-to-choke approach to tech investment, so they have more choice to actually try things out, see how they work, because technology moves so fast. And if it takes you 6 months to make a decision about a system because it's so difficult, the technology would have moved on and moved on again. So what we wanted to do from the beginning is have an open API that's free to use, that's accessible immediately. There is no commercial blockers whatsoever in using that API, either from the integration partner point of view or from the hotel's point of view. So basically, it comes out of the frustration of our founder, Richard, who wanted to have a guest journey in his hotel in Prague called Emblem Hotel. And he wanted to build this concierge app to get rid of his reception at that hotel. And he reached out to the vendor that was running the PMS there, and he got a bill of 60,000 euros to integrate. He used that 60,000 to start Mews, and the rest is history, I guess. We also consider that brands and hotels want to start to use an asset-light approach. So while there are a lot of systems and assets that are required for the hotels, it doesn't need to be complicated systems and internal coding and internal developments. We want to give you the flexibility to choose best in class. As I said, you should be able to try it out. You can try out Netflix or Now TV without having to subscribe for 3 years. Why can't you do that with your integrations? And these are the questions we are asking all the time. As I mentioned, there is no commercial barriers, and the connections can be created within 30 minutes to 48 hours. And this is including RMSs. This is including complicated data storages. We have some applications that work like on the App Store, where the hotel can go into our marketplace, press connect, and immediately you are connected. That's why the average Mews property has almost 8 integrations across our portfolio, because we encourage that ecosystem all the time. The next item I want to talk about also is custom integrations. So again, this is built on our APIs and included in our offering. We have hotels and groups like Lifehouse and Block who have built their own integrations, their own systems that they want to manage the hotels with. And they were able to use the Mews Open API in order to deliver that experience that they wanted to. Now, initially, our thought was that we wanted to become a headless PMS, but then we thought actually the way we are designing the PMS and the journeys is actually a little bit better. So we kind of maintained that, yes, you can use the open API, but it's much better to use Mews as a centralized system and then build your platforms on top. As I mentioned earlier, there's no extra maintenance or access or any certification fees in any case. And the last but not least in this section is rethinking data. And data is always a pain. It's always a pain to get data out, especially if you're moving systems, if you're wanting to try something new. And we decided from the very beginning that we wanted to be confident in how we are offering our system. You can sign up for a month and you can cancel it. You can then take your data and put it somewhere else. But we also wanted to make sure that we think about data from a guest perspective. So while GDPR is a headache for many of us, for many businesses, what we wanted to do actually offload that responsibility to the guest who own the data. It's their data. So we have ensured that guests are in control and can request the deletion. They can add additional information, whatever they need to do in terms of the check-in process, that they are in control of their own data. Obviously, we have no local storage of data, and we're using abstraction when data is accessed. I mean, this is all kind of basic stuff. So the data access, we have very secure. However, it's very effortless. We have embedded the data presentation layers into our software for certain profiles to be able to read that data immediately and analyze it as they wish. And then last but not least here is the data APIs. And it's really a really simple integration with third-party systems. As I mentioned earlier, we have a way of the hotel pressing a button with another data analytics software in our marketplace. That software will receive a token. They can immediately access the hotel's data after the hotel has confirmed. There's no contract signing, no selling, no additional kind of phone calls in between and emails. It's basically you can look at your reports in another system within minutes. We have dedicated unique access tokens, as I mentioned, and we control the endpoint access and the entity access. So our integrations with Nonius, we have reservation and profiles that we share. It's over a unique access token, but the entities are also locked down further down the street. So this is a quick whiz through this section. And this next one is a little bit more blue sky thinking. It's a little bit away from systems. And it's our vision for hospitality. Even before 2020, we defined the guest journey, and we wanted to have a contactless guest journey. So actually, when the events of 2020 happened, we weren't concentrating anymore on how to do a contactless guest journey, because we've done it. We were able to offer it already. But instead, we were starting to think about how can we diversify the hotel's business. Initially, we were panicking and thinking, how can we diversify our business so we can stay alive? But actually, it was then shifted towards how can we diversify your offering from your real estate to be able to be sold even during a global pandemic like we had in 2020. So here are 5 trends or metrics that we're watching closely, because we think that they have significant opportunities for hotels and hospitality groups alike. So the first trend that we're looking at is the trend towards subscriptions. It's a transactional model in the hotel industry. If there is no transactions, there is no income. And it's really, really hard to maintain that income. We have seen a huge increase in subscription models. Obviously, Amazon Prime, I mean, if you weren't a Prime member before the pandemic, I'm sure everyone was after March, trying to get toilet paper. And Netflix, you know, trying to stay with your family for 24/7, you need a distraction as well. So you can see the trends there, and they were delivered because they were partially cheap as well to buy. They were constant, and they provide an additional. Actually, let me rephrase this. Basically, what it does is it trains our guests and consumers to accept the subscription model. Ultimately, we as an industry don't have to fight to break through that understanding, that kind of marketing barrier. Now, people are more acceptant to say, yes, I will pay something per month, even if I'm not using it. The second trend or metric is we've seen that subscription revenue over the past, 4 years or so, have gone 7 times faster than traditional businesses. And this is a real opportunity for not just technology companies, but also hotels alike and hotel groups. Having the ability to really offer any part of your real estate on a monthly basis will diversify basically your business and will allow you to get a share of that fast growth in revenue income. And then we have membership in hospitality. Now, certainly this is nothing new. Citizen M was doing that way before the pandemic already, or thinking about it. But we have here a great example of Soho House Group. And the company was able to keep more than 90% of its paying members during the pandemic. And even though there were sharp declines in revenue, because no one was going there, they were actually maintaining a bottom line that helped them throughout the whole crisis. The membership there, you can see it costs about £1,700, about $2,500. And Soho House reportedly made almost 300 million in revenues in 2019. And 20% was coming from the recurring payments. And that was kept during the pandemic because no one was cancelling, or a small amount of people were cancelling. And the last one here, I think it's the last one, it's the changed business traveller. We're all now used to work from home. It's acceptable to dial into a meeting remotely, so why not go away and work from a hotel, work from a shared co-working area that's secure. And as I mentioned, Citizen M has been doing this for quite a number of years. So here the example is for $500 per month or an annual fee, companies receive 3 stays per month plus other perks. And really, it's going away from that transactional model and towards a subscription model that may help during any future pandemics or market crashes, and help you actually to maintain a good income of your revenue. And then we have long stays in hospitality. We've seen an explosion of that, not just from people potentially being stuck in another country and they weren't able to travel back. I've had many friends stuck abroad. We had Mews members coming back from South America 6 months later because they were just not able to travel. And hotels have caught up on it quite quickly. And started offering long-term stays that were a little bit cheaper. It was still very difficult to maintain. However, it was a source of income. And one of our customers, the Generator Group or Freehand Group, it's a combined one now, were able to offer these long-term stays. So ultimately, we looked at this and we looked at how can we help hotels and hotel groups diversify their business in these areas. And we came up with what we call Project Spacetime. And really, it's about extending the support for the property management system to do much more than it does today. So the name gives it away. It's space and time. So we are diversifying the spaces. So suddenly you can sell your workspace. You can sell your parking. You can sell your stadiums, spas, whatever you want. And time. Property management systems and central reservation systems are traditionally built around the night. Now, when you have an hourly use of a room or space, or a minute use, it becomes very, very difficult to manage. We have examples of large hotels, airport hotels, managing their parking with a spreadsheet, which means that they're losing out on revenue because it's not scalable. You can't maintain it. So what we're trying to do is kind of push the industry in in rethinking how much can I get out of a square foot, out of my hotel. And that's really the question. So further to this, as I mentioned, day use for rooms is a big example. Long stays, so over 30 nights, where tax calculations become a nightmare, and actually the bill in itself becomes a nightmare. Those are the challenges that we're trying to resolve. Co-working spaces, gym use, parking spots, automatic access to parking through registration numbers, for example, where someone's booked online via Waze or Google at your property and arrives and the barrier just opens. How wonderful would that be? And hotel amenities like sports equipment, bikes, anything that actually has a time or a inventory unit against it. So this is what we are trying to do. And I'll leave you with this. A hospitality system of the future must enable you to connect seamlessly and without friction. And ultimately, this is why we're here, this is why we're with our partners here, but also we want to push in that specific area where we can deliver a better management of your real estate and get you more revenue. So that's it. Thank you very much.